This week has been crazy in the world of Tesla news. There is so much going on. We have leaked drone footage of the interior of the refreshed Model 3.
Plus, a third Tesla is losing about 25 miles of range, and Tesla is proactively removing radars from some of its cars when they're in for service.
Plus, the return of the referral program. All that and more starts right now. All right, PJ, how would you feel if I took my Model X in to a service center and they disabled the radar?
I know you're not a fan of Tesla Vision yet.
I've tested it out and I still think what we have, which is our ultrasonic sensors, is better. But now we're talking about radar. Radar is a little bit different than the ultrasonic sensors.
Yeah, ultrasonic's being for kind of slow speed, shorter distance, parking garage situations. Radar being more for autopilot use, highway, and at speed there. So the radars in 2021 and 2022 Model S's apparently are being proactively disabled by Tesla. Anytime you take those vehicles to a service center for a visit, Tesla's just shutting it off. People have inquired about why this is happening. Tesla's telling them, hey, if you're not using it, we're taking the whole Tesla Vision approach.
Yeah, they're all in on that Tesla Vision now.
Yeah,
so
they're saying it'll save you range by turning it off. They're also saying it's had issues with water getting into the radar itself. So I don't know if those are excuses.
Those, I feel like that was just maybe like a random employee working there coming up with an excuse, and now it's been published and people are using that. Because to me, I'm like, how much, battery is it actually using to run these radar?
It's got to be negligible. They're actually sending a software update to the car that ignores the hardware that's been disconnected as well. So supposedly it gives you more range.
I'm hoping they don't do this on the Model X. For some reason, I just like having it all. What does that mean? It's like, why should I pick between this one or that one when I know I can have both? But at the same time, I don't know if I'm fully there yet.
You're not there. Well, the product is not good enough on Vision
Yeah.
yet. But I guess it might not be good enough unless you give it the opportunity to learn from the cars that are on the road.
But if they are disabling it, obviously they believe in what they're doing. So they wouldn't be doing that if there wasn't a reason. We would hope. All right, the refreshed Model 3, there's some new drone footage being leaked that shows a round steering wheel inside the vehicle.
Yeah, this drone footage is from above the Fremont factory in California. Door is wide open and you can clearly see the round steering wheel, but what really stands out is what's on that steering wheel, which a lot of publications have already commented on this, that it looks like touch capacitive buttons on the steering wheel. Again, like the Model S and X round steering wheel, there's no yoke, but it could have stalkless driving. It could have the horn there on the right-hand side. The dash is covered, so we can't tell if it has any sort of instrument cluster, maybe a heads-up display.
I'm hoping that the horn is on the right side, that is right in the center, because that's the one thing that I think is not great about the Yoke.
But if they want to streamline things, this makes complete sense. They're going with the round approach. They've already seen that not everyone loves the Yoke, but then I'm confident that they're going to introduce the same $250 option to get this Yoke as an option on the 3-in-Y. Again, kind of going with that streamlined approach. Most people probably go for the wheel, but then that opens up
I'm not so sure. I actually don't think that they will do that. I actually think the opposite.
They're just going to put the round.
Yeah, I think that they've done their homework now, and they're seeing with the Model X and the Model S that people want that round steering wheel. Okay. Now, the X and the S, they're giving that option. But I think that with the Model 3, they just want to get these things out there. Okay. I think that they're just going to completely streamline it. If you want to go Yoke aftermarket, I've done it in our Model 3. It was a very easy install. I'll link that video down below. But I don't think Tesla is going to offer that. Okay. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. I'm really curious what you guys think about that. Either way, it's really cool to see these shots. Yeah. We haven't seen anything like this. All the pictures we've seen, it's really covered up. It's kind of camouflaged. So I'm sure they're sitting back. And they're purposely doing this, let's open up the door a little bit and get them And also, who is this drone? Who's flying the drone? Do we know those kind of details yet?
I don't, but I think the quality of the video could be better. This is definitely not a 4K crop.
Up next, Elon Musk is tweeting his goodbyes. On Thursday, he tweeted, "Excited to announce that I've a new CEO."
He's a little too excited.
A little too excited. She will be starting in 6 weeks. My role will transition to being exec chair and CTO, overseeing product software and synops?
SysOps.
SysOps. I don't even know what that is, honestly.
No, it might be a thing. I don't know either.
I actually
System operations. Maybe that's what it is.
I think so. I think you're right. And then he tweeted again the next day.
Yeah, he said, "I'm excited to welcome Linda Yaccarino as the new CEO of Twitter. Linda will focus primarily on business operations while I focus on product design and new technology. Looking forward to working with Linda to transform this platform into X, the everything app," which I thought sounds a lot like Amazon and the
I
everything
know.
store.
Hopefully they don't get sued for using the word
A
everything.
little Bezos
Yeah.
poke there with that reference. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of it, because we saw Tucker Carlson go from mainstream media and come onto Twitter and say he's going to have his own show. And if Elon builds this platform to have some sort of a medium where you can have shows on there, maybe you can currently have shows on there, I'm not sure.
Are you going to
But
start a weather show on there?
we can try to do something like that. Being able to essentially make Twitter the next YouTube or something along those lines, maybe even better than YouTube. That's all a possibility.
Wow, you're big words. But what do we actually know so far about Linda Yaccarino?
Yeah, she was the advertising chief for NBC Universal for the last 11 years. Apparently, she is a velvet hammer of the advertising world. So she's kind of a big deal.
So what exactly does velvet hammer mean? You know, I read that as well, and I had to like stop and think because that's not a phrase I've heard before.
No, I think she just gets the job done.
But velvet is soft.
Yeah.
So maybe she has a nice way of doing it?
Maybe, but it's a good thing. Tesla's stock went up a couple percent when this news was announced, and she's jumping on board with Twitter. Lets Elon focus more on Tesla stuff and get better for Twitter and for Tesla out of this.
It's so interesting how so many of these people that have been doing TV, you know, NBC Universal, Tucker Carlson, like you said, somebody else over here, are now switching to social media.
The transition's there. It's real.
Yeah, it's really happening. I'm curious how many of you guys still watch TV, like actual TV.
I think a lot of people that I know that watch TV are sports related. That's kind of the last straw that's hanging on to people to watching the playoffs and watching, you know, football and whatnot. But
then do you just purchase that for like the season and then do you cancel it?
Yeah, that's what I did actually.
And speaking of fans of Twitter, RJ Scringe is definitely a fan because he just posted that they are bringing back the powered tonneau cover as well as a manual option.
Yeah, these are coming at some point later this summer. They didn't announce the pricing on them, but you've got the manual, you've got a newly designed powered tonneau cover, which remember the previous one was the button, you press it, but it had so many issues, it got stuck so many times.
And the manual one, what did you think about that?
I thought it was okay. You didn't seem like you're a fan of the manual.
So for me personally, I felt like the manual would be like a waste of time. It's like each piece you actually have to take off, put into the bag, and then you can store it in the gear tunnel. And like that's great. You have the gear tunnel where it goes, but it's like the time it takes to actually take each piece off. I think you're busy. You know, you have kids running around. Obviously, that's how I think.
They did not announce if this is going to be an option where you can retrofit the existing one you have right now. So we'll see exactly in the coming months here if they're going to let you bring your existing R1T and get this new motorized version put on, or even get it just entirely taken out and go manual. Yeah,
I think that Rivian is realizing that, you know, it's harder to mass produce some of these pieces.
You can run these tests 1,000 times, you know, in the factory, and once you get it out to even a few hundred people and they use it for a few months, you've got hundreds of thousands of tests happening in the wild and under circumstances you can't really reproduce in a factory. So I think they're realizing, as you said, how hard it is to mass produce something. And we saw that with Tesla. We saw that with our initial Falcon Wing, still some issues with it. And, you know, I can go on and on about different things we've experienced with Tesla that were really, really rough at the beginning and have gotten quite a bit better here.
So there has been another range drop, this time in the performance Model Ys that are being delivered to Canada.
Yeah, this is 3 straight Teslas that have signs that they're being imported from China. One in Canada a couple of months ago, that was the rear-wheel drive Model Y that came in with LFP batteries, and we saw deliveries in Canada about a month ago. Indications there were that it was coming in from the Shanghai factory. That was confirmed. Then reports that the long-range all-wheel drive Model 3 is finally back for the United States market. That was a few weeks ago, and we talked about it here on this channel. And the range on that car was about 25, 35 miles less than the last time we had long-range all-wheel drive Model 3s.
And this is mostly because they now have these new LFP batteries in them.
Yeah, so the tax credit was cut in half for that one. The LFP batteries were introduced, which indicated that kind of the China impact or China connection to these cars. Now the reports are the performance Model Y coming to Canada is also going to be coming from China. And on Tesla's website, they mysteriously dropped the range for that performance Model Y. Range at 303 miles is going to be down to 285 miles. So a pretty significant drop, again, indicating probably an LFP connection. So unless Tesla is just going all out and cutting range by 20 or 30 miles across a lot of its cars in the last couple of months, there's something going on here, and maybe it's for cost reasons, maybe for profit margins. I know a lot of people commented in that last video we did saying, here we go again, Elon doesn't value range that we've all wanted, 350, 400 miles. Well, this one is getting even less. The performance, of course, bigger motor, 21-inch Uber turbine wheels, always had a little less range than the all-wheel drive, but now down to 285 on the Tesla Canadian Design Studio.
Yeah, so we did have an insider also tell us that Tesla, they heard, don't want to start rumors here, but they heard that Tesla is going to be starting to produce these cars over in China. So this really makes sense with what we've heard and the reports that are coming out now.
This is before the reports, too. Really important to note. He told us about all this stuff before the reports. Right after that, we started seeing this.
We waited to say anything because, you know, I didn't want to spread a rumor. But now that these stories are starting to come out, it really does seem like, you know, this is the way they're going.
Hinting at this is the way they're going, yep.
And exciting news for a lot of people, Tesla is bringing back their referral program.
Exciting news for you, maybe.
Exciting news for me, for sure. But I think a lot of people out there are excited about this. There's probably going to be a lot more YouTube channels popping up, a lot more Twitters, you know, TikToks, all about Tesla. And you can use my referral code right here.
You're not supposed to publicize it. It says something about not mass publicizing it. It's intended to be for friend to friend. So.
Okay. Keep that in mind, unless you are in the market for a Tesla, and then use our code. So there are some changes, though, to this. It's very different than the old one. It's more of a credit system now.
It is, yes. The buyer gets credits. You know, the Model S will give you 2,000 to 3,000 credits. And then the person buying the Model S also gets a set number of credits. The S and X get you the most credits in car sales. And then it comes to 3 and Y getting slightly less credits for both the buyer and the seller. And those credits go towards anything from supercharging miles to clothing to Tesla Kila, floor mats and bike racks, and all the way to the accessories, even up to getting full self-driving and autopilot. So it translates to a lot of things. No free cars except the potential to get a raffle ticket. 2,500 credit for a Model S purchase gets you 5 tickets to win a off-the-line, one of the first VINs of the Cybertruck. So a lot in for everyone involved in trying to get referrals.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I also think it's interesting that our free supercharging miles expired almost on the exact same day as
this was announced.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's a coincidence.
No, gotta get to work.
Yes.
The amount, though, is pretty competitive. Like, I was looking at how much it would take, how many credits it would take to get full self-driving. 120,000 credits. So if you sell the most expensive item, not counting the solar, which I think is 9,000 credits, but the Model S and Model X, putting it at about 3,000, 3,500 credits, that's 34 sales or 34 referrals of the Model S or X to get you the full self-driving for free. Remember, you got the Performance Model X back in 2018 as a referral prize for being the first person
to 20.
To 15, I believe it was.
Was it 15?
First to 15. Now you got to get 35 or 34 Model X referrals to get full self-driving. So the stakes have changed a little bit, a lot more competitive.
More competitive. I love that they're kind of gamifying it. It's fun. I do think also that, you know, the EV market is more competitive now. And so that probably has something to do with Tesla bringing back the referral program.
Yeah, because you hear demand, you know, is through the roof. So they took the referral program away. Elon had tweeted that it was gone because there was already too much demand as it was. So maybe the demand is obviously still there, but maybe this is just a way to kind of encourage pushing that vehicle ahead of everyone. I know Elon's competitive nature is probably fired up with this and just gets everyone excited to try to spread the good word.
Yeah. So I'm curious what you guys think about this new referral program. Let us know down in the comments below. Also, now's the time that if you guys want to put your referral code down in the comments below, go ahead and do it. And then share this video with a friend and tell them to use your referral code.
She's kidding. Don't do it.
I don't know. You could definitely do it. But thank you guys so much for supporting our channel. Please make sure you subscribe. You've liked this video. Also, if you want to support us more, check out our merch, like the shirt PJ is wearing. There's a box down below. You just click on it. It takes you to the shop. And we appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Take care.
Yeah, and talking about like the R1T, when we did borrow it last summer. Was that last summer?
Yeah.
Wow. Time flies. When we brought it last summer, yeah, it did make a little clicking noise, our friends, and he tried to have it fixed numerous times, and they just couldn't quite get it.
He said on delivery that was an issue with it.
Yeah.
They literally were showing him how to use it and it was getting stuck.
Yeah, yeah. And what's interesting is he actually sent me a message the other day that he sold his warranty. He kind of had it with Rivian with some issues that he'd had. So he's, maybe going to have an Aptera next.
Is that what
So
he said?
he did say that.
Nice.
So I would love to make a video with an Aptera. I will not break the roof, I promise.